Good morning. Well, at least it's morning in my world. I am making a few things in preparation for Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving weekend in Canada, and I am just trying to get ahead of the game. So I wanted to show you how I am doing this the easy way. Even though I'm doing it ahead, I'm still doing it the easy way. When I was a kid, I did not like cranberry sauce. I did not like anything to do with cranberries. My mom used to always open up a can of cranberry jelly and then slice it and then put it on. That was kind of the way it was in the 60s. Everything was sliced and came from a can. I don't know why that seemed like a good idea. But anyway, I didn't like it. And I don't think any of the kids did, but the adults put it on their plates, and I think we only had cranberries twice a year anyway, on Thanksgiving and Christmas. But when I married Dan, he did like cranberries, and he didn't like very many other things, so I kind of wanted to find a way of making cranberries work for both of us. So I started making cranberry sauce from scratch with the fresh cranberries that I would buy this time of year in the produce department of our grocery store. And I did that for years. We all like it. Very classic, nothing else in it, just cranberries and a little bit of sugar. And that's the way that I did it for a long time, until one year there were no cranberries. Like, I don't know, they had a problem with the cranberries, I guess, and there were no fresh cranberries to be had, and everybody had to go back and get the canned stuff, I guess. I usually kept some frozen all year long, just for other things that I was doing with them throughout the year. But when I discovered freeze-dried cranberries, of course, my dependence on that on the grocery store was over. And now I can do it anytime I want. So I'm going to show you a classic cranberry sauce with freeze-dried cranberries. It is so easy, it's almost embarrassing. But maybe if it's really, really easy, you will also want to do it. I have 1.5 cups of cranberries. So these are freeze-dried. They are beautiful. They are delicious. They are lightly sweetened. Just, who's going to eat a fresh cranberry? Nobody is, because they're too darn sour. But if they were lightly sweetened, you would eat them like a snack, which my grandkids do, as if they were berries, because that's what they are. They're super, super good for you. So I'm going to just put this in a pot. I'm going to put in 1 cup of water. And I would use 1 cup of water if I was using fresh berries, or these, it doesn't matter. And I'm going to put in 1/2 cup of sugar. And then I'm going to just put it on the heat. And I'm going to let that start to simmer. And I'm going to show you another another dish that I am doing with cranberries while this is cooking. So I don't want it up too high, because I will forget about it. All right, so we'll let that sit for a few minutes. And the next thing I want to show you is a salsa. It is a mango cucumber salsa with lime. And in it, now this, I make this year round, but this time of year, I'm going to put some cranberries in it. Normally it's mangoes, cucumbers. These are all freeze-dried, of course. Oh, I don't want to dump it out. Mangoes, cucumbers, 1 part mangoes, 1 part cucumbers, 1/2 part red peppers. You could use fresh, of course. I'm using freeze-dried because I like to use freeze-dried. And then I'm putting in 1/2 part of cranberries and just a couple of tablespoons of onion, freeze-dried onion. And you could use the freeze-dried green onion if you want. I don't happen to have a can open, and I'm too lazy to go downstairs. So I'm going to just use what I've got here, and then I'll show you what the dressing is going to be. So the other thing is, I happen to have a few more apples from our apple tree. And so I just chopped up a couple of fresh apples, and I'm going to put that in our cranberry sauce. Now, normally I don't, but I have them and they're fresh, and I kind of want to use them. And so I will just put that in the cranberry sauce and have that simmer. All right, so that emptied my bowl. Let's see if I can, there, if I work here, maybe you can see it better. All right, so I'm gonna just dump all of this. Most of the time when if you're making this out of fresh everything, most of your time is gonna be in chopping, right? Well, it's all chopped. Oh, look at that. That's a big one. I might have to chop that. Anyway, it's all chopped and it's all ready to go. I'm gonna just use my same spoon, and inside this dressing, I have a little bit of water, a little bit of oil, just a light oil, whatever your favorite salad or vegetable oil is, and some lime juice. Now I put in some lime juice that I juiced and then I froze. So, because that I have it on hand and that was convenient. But if I didn't have that, I would be putting in this, which is powdered lime. It is powdered lime, basically, in a very, it's in a base of non-GMO cane sugar. For all intents and purposes, it's not sweetened at all. It's so sour, but it has to be in a base of something. And Thrive Life never uses anything artificial, so it's going to be a non-GMO cane sugar. So I would put about a tablespoon of that in if I didn't have any lime juice. And the other thing is that I cheated with is this is honey crystals. And I put about a teaspoon of honey crystals in just to sweeten up the lime juice. And you know what, I would normally use honey, but I didn't. If you want the flavor of honey without the gunk of honey, which is exactly what I wanted to do, then this is the way to go. Now, both of these things these are limited items with Thrive Life, so you can't see them all the time, but be watching, because when they come out, grab them. And especially if they go on sale or when they go on sale, then I usually buy cases of the limited items. So I'm gonna just stir up the dressing. Let me just swirl it. And then I'm just gonna pour it over top. Normally when I make this salsa, I do not put the cranberries in, but this time of year, I'm kind of just looking for that nice red of the cranberries. And that's all. Can you believe it? That's it. That is it. So all you really want to do is just moisten everything. And then just give it a chance to refresh. And then I'm going to put this in the fridge, and we're actually having Thanksgiving dinner here tomorrow. This afternoon, I'm making pumpkin pies from a fresh pumpkin that I have had in the oven, and it's ready to go. There's a clump. I could break it up, or I could eat it. Oh, it's delicious. Look at that color. Holy. Now, if I was doing this, if I had fresh cilantro, I would put fresh cilantro in. I don't. So I'm going to put in a little bit of freeze-dried cilantro, because we love cilantro in our house. Freeze-dried cilantro is not as flavorful as fresh cilantro, but it's better than nothing. Actually, you know what? Cilantro is always best fresh. Like it doesn't freeze well, it doesn't dry well, it just always loses its flavor. All right, that is done. I will put the recipe in the comments. Let's check and see how look at that, it's almost refreshed. Did you know that there's a natural pectin in cranberries? So it will gel without anything else. And you know that if you've ever used fresh cranberries. And so because of that, and apples actually have a natural pectin, but because of that, I often use cranberries throughout the year when I'm making things like raspberry jam. I just put enough in, you can't even really tell that they're there, but they have that beautiful, beautiful color, and they just add that natural pectin. And I don't have to put in as much sugar, and I don't have to put regular pectin in. So I'm going to just put a lid on this. I'm going to let that simmer for about 5 minutes. And then that is done. There is my lid. So this is the cranberry sauce. Like, it's all gelled. Isn't that beautiful? You can see the little chunks of apples in it. I am going to put it into some jars so I can put it in the fridge. So hopefully this will all fit into a pint. Oh, close. Well, there, let the record show that that much makes a little bit more than a pint. Which I can tuck it all down. There. Perfect. Okay, so let's just taste that. Beautiful. I'm gonna put the lid on that. Put that in the fridge. Let's put this salsa also in a jar. Look at that. Do you know what I like so much about this kind of thing? Sorry if I had my hand over the camera. What I like so much about this kind of thing is it is completely out of my food storage, except for the frozen lime juice, which I could substitute very easily and often do. But this, it doesn't matter what's going on in my life. It doesn't matter when was the last time I went grocery shopping, or if I could even go grocery shopping, or if these things are even available at any time in the grocery store. Doesn't matter, because I have them fresher than fresh in my food storage all the time. So when I say fresher than fresh, I mean everything, all the produce that Thrive Life uses is picked ripe when all the nutrients are intact. Everything is developed, unlike most of the fruits that we buy in the grocery store are picked green. They're picked green before they're developed. All those last phytonutrients never really get a chance to develop. And then they are shipped. I'm not faulting the process. That's the only way we're ever going to get fresh peaches and mangoes and things like that where I live. But the process means that a lot of things are lost. Things start to deteriorate. Fruits and vegetables start to deteriorate in the hour that they're harvested. So if you're not even buying them for a week after harvest, and then they're still green while they sit on your counter and finish ripening, by the time you get to them, you're looking at 10 days, if you're lucky, from the time it was picked. That's not fresh. You can call it a lot of things, but don't call it fresh. Whereas with Thrive Life, everything is picked ripe. It is all picked, washed, sliced, and flash frozen within 6 hours, usually 2 to 4 hours from harvest. I cannot get things out of my backyard and on my table in 2 to 4 hours. So that's about as fresh as you're gonna get it. The nutritional value is 95 to 98% when it goes in this can. This can has a shelf life of 25 years. So if I open this next March, it is still 95 to 98% original food value. If I open it in 17 years, it is still exactly the same. 25-year shelf life once I open it, and I always write the date down that I open it just so I can keep track. It is 1 year, and oftentimes it lasts a lot longer than a year for me. But you can guarantee that within usually a year, depends on the humidity in your area, right? Because the humidity is your enemy. You want to take what you want out, put the lid back on, seal it, put it back away. If you do that, you're going to have an extended life of probably about a year in most areas. So that's pretty darn good. And by doing that, there is zero waste. You never throw anything out. Nothing in your fridge that you didn't get to in time and then you had to throw out. And when you do that, I mean, when you throw out food, you throw out money. And who can afford to do that these days? Okay, so this is almost exact. It's a pint. Holy, that was good timing. I mean, good guessing on my part. All right, so this is my salsa with cranberries. I'm really glad I put cranberries in it. Just really brightened it up and made it seasonal. Wow. I'm really glad that I used as much lime as I did. I love lime. That is beautiful. So I'm gonna just put a lid on that. And I've got a pint of classic cranberry sauce and a pint of mango cucumber salsa with cranberries. Have a wonderful rest of your day and happy Thanksgiving if it's Thanksgiving weekend for you. Bye. Hi. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something. I'd love to hear about it. If you have any comments, I'd love to hear them. If you liked it, do me a favor and click the like button. If you know somebody who would benefit from it, then definitely share it with them. And if you'd like to know more about these sorts of things, then stick around.